Right now, we are joined by the man known as Lionel, and he has a show on mainline broadcast television in New York City, syndicated radio host as well. I met him back when he introduced me a few years ago to the keynote speech I gave to Talkers magazine in New York. And he is a former prosecutor, he's a lawyer, news decoder, and First Amendment sentry, and a New York-based television legal analyst, LionelMedia.com, and his Twitter is Lionel Media as well. The reason I want to get him on is not, oh my gosh, Keith Olbermann talked about us, because who cares? And I've bullhorned Keith Olbermann at the DNC in 2008 and shut down the show before it, Hardball and his, for 2 hours, and they went into conniption fits of anger. I mean, you know, the guy's on ESPN, which is there, again, to make the only hero sports figures, and is its own form of propaganda where they suspend people who admit that 5 years ago their girlfriend hit them, so they hit them back. You know, just incredible political correctness. I'm not saying it's good to hit your girlfriend when they hit you, but the point is that, you know, if Al-Qaeda wants to chop off a couple 100,000 Christians' heads and our government gives them the weapons, that's okay. And if a race car driver wants to run somebody over in front of everybody, that's okay. But my God, you tell the truth about it, you slapped your girlfriend back, you're going to lose your job. I don't mean to go off on a jag here. It's just that's political correctness, a.k.a. mind control, a.k.a. Apocalypse Now, where Colonel Kurtz says we train our pilots to drop fire on villages, killing men, women, and children, but we court-martial them when they write cuss words on the sides of their airplanes. It's a sick joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's the symbols over the substance. But Keith Olbermann and a bunch of other Democrats now have been on a jag against Infowars.com, DrudgeReport.com, and Keith Olbermann also attacked, and to sneeze there, Keith Olbermann also attacked Lionel. And, you know, the funny part about a lot of these attacks now is they don't even say what we said that was a lie or wrong. They just say, well, here it is. Laugh out loud, perfect trilogy of paranoia, sophistry, and tinfoil ass hattery. Talk about sophistry. I mean, just saying tinfoil hat that's in a CIA memo from 1963 that you say, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat. I mean, that's declassified. That in 1963, the CIA, right after they killed Kennedy, put out these talking points. It was only declassified a few years ago. Paul Watson wrote an article about it. And then that's their response. Hey, Obama's putting our military under NATO command. Did you see the Senate hearings? Ass hattery. Hey, did you hear a lot of the studies show that the fluoride's causing brain damage? A new Harvard study. Tinfoil hattery. Hey, did you hear Obamacare doubles the prices, triples the prices, and really does have death panels in it? The guy that authored it, Rahm Emanuel's brother, said it on Fox News. Tinfoil hat, full moon. So, I mean, what happened to Keith Olbermann? This is a guy that talked about the Downing Street memo when it was leaked, where Bush wanted to stage terror attacks to blame it on Saddam so they could invade. I mean, the thing is, Keith Olbermann's actually smart, folks, but since the Democrats are in, he will sit there and defend them to the hilt. I mean, Republicans get in power, folks, and they start doing stuff, I'll go out against them. So joining us is Lionel. Lionel, you did a pretty good breakdown of this on the Nightly News last week, so I wanted to get you on and talk about it here on the radio. It's not just Keith Olbermann, though. I mean, I'm getting attacked every day. Drudge is getting attacked 50 times a day. You're getting attacked now every week. I mean, do they think we care that they're attacking us?
No. What happens is it's a weird, Alex, it's a weird Pavlovian patellar reflex on their part. And what's interesting is that there's an old expression, you only know you're over the target when you catch fire or when you take fire. And by the way, as I sometimes jokingly respond, it's not tinfoil, it's aluminum foil. Everybody knows we haven't used tinfoil in years. But I understand a couple of things that's interesting here, Alex. First and foremost, every day you must start off your day I can imagine, saying, I don't have enough time in the day to go through and cover the panoply of stories that are so critical. Yet, around the country, I guarantee you, newsrooms from mainstream media, from the Ted Baxter, Ron Burgundy, Echo Chamber, Cookie Cutter, Ass Hattery newsrooms are saying, well, it's a slow news day today. Now, what's interesting to note about this is that what I find interesting is it's not, Alex, the government per se who is the main stiflers of free speech and those individuals who want to quell and quash truth. It's individuals who basically are not, Alex, I call them not the thought police, but the thought vigilantes, a bunch of self-appointed guardians of what they consider to be the truth, not the government. And then you have circles and pockets of people who find it, dare I say, cool to immediately dismiss that which A, they know nothing about, B, it frightens them. And I think, Alex, one of the biggest motivators of this dissent, calling you a truth or a birth or a deather, is that they don't know of what you speak. And when you call them out on it, and you say, for example, in this example, well, you do know about such as such, you do know. No, I don't. You're just tinfoil. You know, recently, what I was amazed by is that C-SPAN, which is certainly not left, right wing, very reputable, for the first time really is, I think, seriously broaching the subject of not even 9/11 truth per se, but the physical evidence as to the official story of 9/11. Not who was responsible, who was behind, inside job, none of that. And that percolating through, breaking this logical cap, so to speak, has done more to freak people out. Because, Alex, what you're doing is you're unsettling them. You're saying to them, A, they don't know what they think they know, and B, they're not being told the truth. You know, I was talking to friends of mine in the news media, never going to mention their names. We're talking about absolutely at the top of the heap, so to speak, in terms of this pedigree of news reportage. And they're looking at ISIS merely in an observational mode, and I'm asking them, well, who do you think is behind it? What do you mean? Who is behind ISIS? What is the reason?
And let me guess, just asking who's behind it is a conspiracy. They've now made critical thinking a mental illness. They've now made being involved and knowing factoids bizarre. They've now made knowing more than them a thought crime. And I think you're right. It's more of the fact that they're so ignorant, they just use this as a crutch because the world's getting scarier and scarier. They're losing more and more influence. We're gaining more and more influence, and they don't like it.
And these are remember, the thought vigilantes. This is not the thought police. You know, Gore Vidal had three postulates, three theorems, if you will, hypotheses that I think about every single day. Number one, he coined the idea, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm a conspiracy analyst.
That's right.
He also said that there will come a day, by the way, that day is now, where it is an article of faith to be an American to say that there are no conspiracy theories. And the third, most important of this troika of thought, if you will, is that conspiracy theory has become a code word for the unspeakable truth. You see, it's very interesting to note that when you hit pay dirt, and I will never understand, Alex, if you told me that I would be arguing with people not as an anti-American or anti-Obama or anti-whatever, but I would be arguing to say, please, let me tell you the truth. It'd be like going to a doctor and he wants to read to you the lab results or show you the x-ray, and there's a very serious metastasis or something wrong, and you're fighting him. You're fighting him on the accuracy of the measuring devices. You're talking about the state of American medicine. You're talking about leeches, and you're using versions of tinfoil hat, leeches and bloodletting, and you're making fun of him. I've never seen people who run from the truth. There's also something here, Alex, which is very, very scary. Recently, based upon this meme, if you will, this habituation to control, again, by the thought vigilantes. We're seeing more and more people on subscription radio, internet radio, sports, who opine. Maybe not say the best thing. Maybe somebody says something about domestic violence and you think, gee, that's kind of stupid, or that's kind of dumb, or I don't agree with that. And instead of people saying, well, I'm going to use this channel, it's called the off button, or I'm going to go someplace else, or who cares, or so what, they say, no, I want him suspended. I don't want him fired. I want him fired because I disagree with this. Now, if you can start becoming more and more used to people being censured rather, and censored for what they say voluntarily by the thought vigilante,